the concept of optical activity. So before I talk about optical activity, there are some points that we have to clear. See what happens if you take a tungsten filament lamp. If you take a tungsten filament lamp, what is tungsten filament lamp? It is simply your bulb here. Abhi aajkal you people don't see the bulb, like aisa. Now what happens, this tungsten filament lamp gives out what we call as light. When this light is passed through a prism, what happens is, so this will be a prism. When it passes through prism, it gets split into its constituent colors. So obviously you have red over here, so you have violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange, red. This is how this thing is. Okay. Now what happens is each of this color, each one of this color represents what we call as a light of monochromatic light. Monochromatic light, or what we call as light of one single wavelength. Light of one single wavelength. Is this point clear? Fortunately, in the experiment that we are doing, we don't have to use a prism, then break out the light and all that. We have directly a sodium vapor lamp. So sodium vapor lamp sodium vapor lamp is a source of what you call monochromatic light. Sodium vapor lamp is a source of monochromatic light. Is this point clear? Now what happens is, so it gives light of one single wavelength. Now this light, when we pass through a slit, the second point about monochromatic light is, it is vibrating. The wavelength may be same, but it is vibrating in infinite planes. Now let me explain this to you. See, I'll give an example. Suppose we have this paper. Okay? So I have something like this. So these are the two crests. So this is the wavelength. Okay. Now this is light in one plane. This is in another plane. Are you understanding? Plane. Geometry of a plane सिखाते हैं ना वो. This is another plane. This is another plane. So what happens is the light in all these planes have the same wavelength. But they are vibrating in different planes. The wavelength is same, but they are vibrating in infinite number of planes. So what happens is, now this, when you pass it through a Nicol prism, now this light, when you pass through a Nicol prism, so Nicol prism is made out of calcium carbonate, naturally occurring calcium carbonate, and these two are sealed with by a material called as Canada balsam. So this is sealed by a material called as Canada balsam. By a material called as Canada balsam. It's a gum basically. Now what happens? Let me explain. Suppose, yeah, we have got this. Suppose this is the prism, this Nicol prism. and this is where you have Canada balsam. Okay. Now light coming from this plane gets refracted, bent. Light coming in this plane will also get refracted. But what happens is, light which is actually coming in through that Canada balsam is transparent to light. That light, when it comes out, so the incoming light was vibrating in infinite number of planes, but the light coming out is vibrating in one single plane. So what happens? Now the light coming out is vibrating in one single plane, and this is called as plane polarized light. So what is plane polarized light? It is light vibrating in one single plane. Is this clear? Now what happens if this light which is vibrating in one single plane is passed through certain organic solutions? Afterwards you learn even salts and all that, because in this concept is there even in coordination chemistry. But for the sake of a halogen derivative, I am saying, if it is passed through solution of glucose, sucrose, what happens? The plane of the plane polarized light, the plane of the plane polarized light gets shifted. It is still plane polarized light, but it's in a different plane. So for example, aisa hai, it passes through sugar solution, and when it comes out, it's now vibrating in this plane. It's still vibrating in one plane, but in a plane different from the other. So this phenomena of rotation of the plane polarized light is called as optical activity. So you have done three definitions from me now. First is monochromatic light. What is monochromatic light? Light of one single wavelength is called as monochromatic light. Second, light of one single wavelength is called as monochromatic light. Second, what we have is ये क्या बोलते हैं? Plane polarized light. An extraordinary beam of light vibrating in one single plane is called as. Then we have optical activity, the phenomena of rotation of the plane polarized light by substances is called as optical activity. Is this clear? So this is the introduction. Three definitions we have learnt. Is this clear? Then what are we coming to? We are coming to the next point, that why does it show optical activity? I'll finish optical activity today. Tomorrow I think is what? Is light of one single wavelength. Okay. Plane polarized light is an extraordinary beam of light vibrating in one single plane. That's the second one. Third is what? The phenomena of rotation of the plane polarized light is by substances. Let's not stick our head and say organic substances, any substance is called as optical activity. So why does a substance show optical? So now, what kind of question you are going to have? Discuss the optical activity of 2-chlorobutane. So ये तीन क्वेश्चन में से एक जरूर आता है, SN1, SN2 and optical activity of 2-chlorobutane. Of these three, one they will definitely ask in your board exam, which is postponed to God knows when, whenever it's going to happen. Is this clear? Be happy. So it's not possible to conduct also. I mean, in my building, again today one fellow has got infected. I'm so worried, you won't believe. So we have, listen, what do you call? So why does it show optical activity? The answer was given by what we call as the Van 't Hoff Libel, Van 't Hoff Libel theory. See, these were two different scientists. Van 't Hoff was a German scientist, Libel was a French scientist. Somehow at around the same time both of them gave the theory. So it could not happen like this, that like today communication is very fast. Na? You just sent a WhatsApp message and the next moment that will also claim, ऐसा हो नहीं हो सकता है, वो नहीं सकता है. Those days things were very different, Time, it was a lot of time before people could. So both were given the credit. Both didn't do simultaneously, independently both gave the same concept only, Van 't Hoff and label theory. So what did they say? They said that, they've talked about organic compounds. Huh? They said that certain organic compounds, they said certain organic compounds have an asymmetric, carbon atom. Asymmetric carbon atom. So what is an asymmetric carbon atom? Let me put it in bracket. A carbon atom whose 4 valencies are satisfied by a carbon atom whose 4 valencies are satisfied by 4 different atoms or group of atoms. 4 different atoms or group of atoms. 4 different atoms or group of atoms. Is this point clear? So for example, you have, I'll just tell you, you have suppose carbon, you have a group B, C, D. And because they are tetrahedral and they have 4 different atoms or group of atoms, what happens is, if you have a mirror, they exist in object mirror image form. So what happens is, in physical form, physically, these two exist. They are object mirror image form. These are called as non-superimposable images. So either we say they are object mirror image form, or we can say they exist as non-superimposable form. Forms. They exist as non-superimposable forms. Are you understanding? So now this was the point. So what did they say? What happens is, suppose so what is the contention? They said, look, yeah, I am able to explain. So you can see this is tetrahedral. Center में there is carbon A, B, C, D. So ये अगर एक ऐसा है तो इसका mirror image form ऐसा रहेगा. You understood? There will be one form. These are physical existing molecules, but in spatial arrangement, when you look at them, they are actually the object mirror image forms. So what they said was, let us say in this case, you have a plane polarized light coming in like this. It hits this, and what happens? There is refraction. What is refraction? Bending of light. And that is why, see, when it's coming like this, it's coming in one plane, it hits this atom, and the plane gets shifted. So for you, from your side, it will be clockwise shifting. But if I look at the mirror image, it will hit here and it will shift like this. It will be anti-clockwise. So while one of the, molecules shift it clockwise, the other shifts it anti-clockwise. Is this clear? So these two were called as optical isomers. So the fourth term that comes in is what? These are optical isomers. So this phenomena is called as optical isomerism, and these molecules are called as optical isomers. Is this clear? Now, so the question arose, for a given molecule, so for a given molecule, how many optical isomers can it have? So that was given by, so number of optical isomers was given by the formula 2 raised to n, where n is the number of asymmetric carbon atom, Is this point clear? So, so the one which rotated clockwise was called as dextro or plus, and the one which rotated anti-clockwise was called as levo or minus. Now remember one thing, just by looking at the molecule, you cannot decide that this will be dextro and this will be levo. Which molecule is dextro or levo can only be understood by looking at the putting the molecule in a machine called as polarimeter and actually studying the optical rotation. Is this point clear? So it has to be experimentally validated. You can theoretically say this is dextro, this is levo. Is this clear? It is not this is a difference between R and S configuration. In R and S configuration, you are assigning a certain rule and saying this is rectus and this is synecticus. You have a rule. Here you don't have any rule. You have to put that material in a solution, put it in the polarimeter and check which of the molecule is dextro and which is levo. Are you understanding? Which is dextro and which is levo. Okay. Now, what happens is, listen carefully over here. Now we'll talk about the real 12th standard question on the basis of this concept. That is, discuss the optical activity of 2-chlorobutane. Discuss the optical activity of 2-chlorobutane. Now this is a straight board ka question that I am discussing. 3-mark question hai sara. Okay, same way we will discuss lactic acid and then I will give you 1 or 2 NEET level questions. Is this clear? It's a very small topic, I will complete it today. So discuss the optical activity of 2-chlorobutane. Is this clear? So how do we start? First you write the structure. So you have, this is chloro, CH3, C2H5H. So you can see this is having an asymmetric carbon atom. This carbon atom, what has happened? Its 4 valencies are satisfied by 4 different atoms or group of atoms. So an asymmetric carbon atom is indicated by an asterisk mark. Then you will say the second statement that you say, for which half mark is given. You will say that since it has one asymmetric carbon atom, you will say it has 2 optical isomers. You have to mention this statement. How did you get the 2 isomers you are going to put on the board? You will have to say that it has 2 optical isomers. It has 2 optical isomers. Is this point clear? Now if it has 2 optical isomers, what is the next thing we can say? Which are the 2 isomers? So we just indicate a mirror over here. So this will be one of them. So you have C2H5, Cl, CH3, H. So you can see इसका mirror image कैसा draw करेंगे हम लोग. This will, there is nothing to show over here. So there will be CH3 over here. Then H will be like this, and this will be Cl. So here you have to assume, you have to put it on the paper, that show an arrow and say this is clockwise. So this is dextro or plus. And you will show this arrow. This arrow is clearly anti-clockwise. So you will say levo or minus. Then there is one more very important point over here that you have to mention, that if equimolar mixture, of dextro and levo is mixed, we call this as racemic mixture. We call this as racemic mixture. This racemic mixture is optically inactive. It is optically inactive. Why is it optically inactive? Because you have taken both the mixture. This fellow is going to turn dextro clockwise, this will turn levo, finally the plane of polarization will be at the same position. So it got transferred clockwise, brought it back anti-clockwise. This point clear? And what you have to state, see now, you have physically mixed it. Na? It's like salt and sand, it's a physical mixture. It is a physical mixture. So this is what are the points that you have to, explain when you are explaining optical activity. Now I'm going to teach you a little extra just to make you understand what we are talking. Is this clear? Especially since you are going to be a NEET student, these are things you should know. I'll tell you where is the trap actually, Now where do we use this concept? Believe me, this is one of the most important concepts in medicinal chemistry. First and foremost, see, what happens is, I am now talking about application one by one. Some are not in syllabus, but then it will make this lecture interesting. It will make it, it is a knowledge enhancer for you. First application is what happens. What is this angle of rotation dependent on? The angle of rotation is dependent on first length of the tube, length of the polarimeter tube, second, it is also dependent on the concentration. So if you keep this as 1 decimeter, 10 centimeter, fix this, and concentration 1%, then this is called as, 1 dm, 1%. This is called as specific optical rotation. See the specific optical rotation. Now, let's come down to business. See the specific, sorry, it's all because of cold water that I'm drinking. I'm not able to bear the heat now. So I drink slightly cold water from the fridge. So that is causing all this problem. But what can I do? I can't bear the, the heat.